Remember the smiling pretender, I shrowder with reason to plot. You'll know of all treasons and dimensions of reasons that shall never be forgot. Demented plethoras of smoky breath on broken mirror glass. Breath of life and death and all betwixt the two. There is an unwritten rule of two when it comes to the fight over the fate of the universe. It can be easy to focus on struggling for or with all your soul on behalf of the good. The same could be said for that of the evil. However, when it comes to fighting for your soul on behalf of the balance, grappling with and for your will in the name of the grey, maintaining an inner balance of the self can be fraught with issues. Just as you can be, listeners, just as I can be. Existing, for example, sometimes almost entirely retroactively, can be unrealistically tempting but almost entirely exhausting. My people have often said that the purpose of life is not happiness. The artists of the Axis tend to adopt and define happiness as a means to an end, given that we have no choice but to smile. For humans and some other mortal beings wandering the multiverse, who themselves tended to perceive their own ideal state as a constant paradise of placidity, striving for happiness as their ultimate goal in existence causes them to live lives ultimately trivialized by ignorance. Ignorance of this following truth. A truth verbalized, at least in your reality, by a man with the word soul in his name. And I quote, "Happiness is something that is destroyed by the first harsh blow that reality deals you." End quote. They do say that ignorance is bliss, don't they, listeners? There are many times in this span of experience where the expectation of happiness as a response can put you in the complete incorrect emotional state to deal with what might need to be dealt with. People are built to experience a chasm span size of emotional states as we walk through this eternally bendy path we do so eloquently call life, that only bear an excitingly slender relationship between one another, because the environment that we, all of us, inhabit is so fucking loud, bright, dark, disgustingly beautiful, eerily sexy and unrelentingly meaningful that most of our adaptation almost entirely depends on a variety of very finely differentiated emotional responses. Times to be angry, mystical, logistical, and sadistical, unless we forget masochistical. The dark night you smiled bright, that day you frowned right. All of the plethora of things that you feel, listeners. These responses I speak of course, cannot be refined down into one or two simple dimensions, say good versus evil, for example, light against dark. But, as I'm sure you know, as I'm sure you believe if you're still listening, that life and of course death are not as cut and dried as these abstract constructs that only some believe truly sits on our shoulders every day of our lives. There is darkness there, inside all of us. The line between good and evil, listeners, if there is one, runs down the middle of every heart that possesses the ability to express itself subjectively. Are we perhaps but one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively? Is that why I can see all of your dreams? That darkness that lives within us can be merciful in that most of us aren't constantly subjected to it on a second-to-second basis. And although there is a small percentage, most people or things in this universe are not immortal. In their own strange ways, both apply to me. And so, I and others like me have had to learn a very, very important lesson, and I hope it is one that you will carry in your ears. Deciding to put happiness at the focal point of most mainstream universes can trivialize your entire experience. It can mess up your signals and turn your comfort zones into collapsing spike pits. But if you learn this lesson before stepping on that trap's trigger, you can mystically transform those spikes poised to kill you into leather sofas poised to do nothing but improve your lumbar support. The lesson is, life is suffering. The purpose of life is not happiness. This truth, if you're brave enough, can be a kind of catharsis that can break any fall. The kind of catharsis that can give you wings. Wings broken, yet unbreakable. And that's what this show is about, listeners. People with unbreakable, broken wings. These people are important, truly important to me above all. They are all part of me, pieces of me, forever bonded pieces of my soul. I came to realize, as I came to know them all over the countless centuries and dimensions I've traveled, that in order to regard something as truly important, you also have to recognize its loss as truly meaningful. Something that changed you, that became part of you. And to open yourself up to those frozen moments of deep meaning that we all seem to live for, or want to be remembered for, you also have to open your mind and heart to deep hurt and sorrow. And the thing is, when all time, space, and dimensions beyond lie outside your sentient growing doors, everyone is alive, and everyone is dead. You miss your grandparents. You never knew your grandparents? Well, that's okay, because when you walk with me, you can join me for dinner with them next Wednesday. Wear something hauntingly fabulous, of course. If you spend your time frequenting different planets, dimensions, timelines, and recording booths, taking refuge in a sentient house by the same singular word and name, and spending eternity messing with, maintaining, or sometimes completely changing the status quo, all in service of balance, and the importance of it for the maintenance of the multiverse, all in the name of the Axis. Well, sometimes you just want to sit the hell down, construct a device containing a constant incantation subroutine implanted in my subconscious architecture, allowing me to construct a live feed of sorts to the commonly inaccessible part of the brain concerned with contextual telepathy, and tell the story to anyone who is kind enough or brave enough to open their ears and stare through their fears and embrace this vicious cabaret. This is your host, RedGrin. If you're a podcast clown like I am, you must have dreamed about starting your own. Let me tell you, my dreadful darlings, it's never easy, but it's one of the best decisions I ever made. It was either that or waste away in my own subjective ascendance. Of course, it can be more than just a little overwhelming to know how to get started. Buzzsprout can help you launch your podcast professionally and in style, linking you with all of the major podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and much, much more. Join us up in the buzzing, sprouting podcast cloud to breathe in the renowned analytical sound of the accurate analysis and promotion tools provided. Follow the link in the show notes below to start your journey and receive a $20 Amazon gift card. We're waiting for you. Buzzsprout, the best and excitingly prettiest way to start a podcast.